we'll go blah blah blah. It's gonna be that day today. We'll go ahead and we'll do our Vin Chi Yin. So a little bit of flow, a little bit of long holding, like we usually do on Tuesdays. And for today's class, if you want to block and you have something handy like a pillow or something like that, you certainly can. You can tell I didn't bring my props today, so you don't necessarily need them. But we are going to start on our backs. So go ahead and find your way into, actually we're starting in Shavasana today. So find your way to your back and let your feet kind of reach down towards the ends of the mat. Let your shoulders be heavy. Let your palms face up towards the ceiling and close your eyes. So we're going to use this to just become very present on our mat. Let go of everything that happened before. So your morning is gone. No need to worry about that. Don't worry about anything that may or may not be on your agenda for this afternoon, because that isn't here yet. And if it helps you to focus, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, and you can trace the cadence of your breath. So just following the breath. Perhaps your mantra, I am present. Just taking a few more rounds here. Noticing if any sensations show up for you in your body. The next time you come to an inhale, go ahead and draw the right knee in towards your heart space. And then as you exhale, go ahead and squeeze that knee down, maybe to the outside of the ribs, towards the armpit. You can even rock a little side to side with that hip joint. And then we're going to take this into a very easy twist. So bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee and just draw that knee across. Let your hips stack. And so hips stacked sometimes can be really intense. If you need to, you can hike your hips over towards the right side and actually create a little bit more space here. So keeping that knee bent, you can bring the left hand to the knee. Right hand can stay right on your hip. Or if you like and you have the space, you can reach that right arm out long and maybe turn the palm down. Now it's super early in our practice, so if looking out over that left shoulder works for you, go ahead and do that. Maybe looking straight up towards the ceiling, or perhaps even looking over the right shoulder. Go ahead and unravel that twist. Bring both feet to the mat. And just windshield wiper a little bit here. So feel it out, see what's showing up for you here. Rock a little side to side. And then extend that right leg long. Pull the left knee in, and on your exhale, give it a nice little tug. Create some little circles with the hip. I'm doing little half circles today. We're going to work on our balance a little bit because it's slippery out there. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee and draw that knee across. And again, if you did it on the other side, you might have to hike your hips over towards the left to find the space to take this bent knee twist over towards the right. If you're really holding a lot of stress, you might put your knee up on a pillow or a block, and maybe stretching that arm out to the side is a little too much. You You can always just keep your hand right here on your hip. So try to relax into the pose. Notice if you're holding any tension, maybe clenching your jaw or holding the shoulders up by the ears. See if you can let some of that go. Using both hands, come back to your back. Place your feet on the mat. Use them to help you come back to square. Square off the hips, square off the shoulders. Take a few little wiggles here, whatever feels nice. And then we're going to find our way towards our seat. So if you want to roll over towards the side and come up to seated, or maybe grab behind the knees and rock yourself up, whichever way works for you, coming towards that seat, any shape. I'm going to take my easy pose, my Sukhasana. Just bring your hands to your knees. Tuck your chin and feel the length from the base of the skull down to the base of the neck. So from right where the neck inserts into the head, there's a little hollow there. And then where the neck inserts into the shoulders, there's a little like knob there. So that's where you're feeling the length there. And then bringing your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then back through center. And then right ear, right shoulder. Dropping the head forward, over towards the left. If you get those crunchies, that's okay. It's totally normal. That's what we're here for. Back and forth a couple times. And then go ahead and find your way to neutral. Lift the chin, just that kiwi spot, right? So just enough to hold the kiwi between your chin and your collarbone here, creating that space. Hands are on your knees and push the back. So you're spreading your shoulder blades away from each other, your scapula, and then pushing the heart towards the wall behind you. Hollow out the belly and roll back onto where your pockets would be. And then on your inhale, you're going to lift, you're going to roll the shoulders back, bend the elbows behind you, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and lift the heart up towards the ceiling. You can even put a little bit of pressure on the inner thighs there to open up. Exhale, you're going to round. Inhale, you're going to lift. Good, round. And lift. Beautiful, come through center. Draw your left arm across your body, hook the elbow around, and then maybe look over towards the left as you pull that left hand out towards the right. All the way back through center, we're just going to hook the other way, hooking that elbow around, pulling that right arm out and over. So be careful not to shrug your shoulders here. You want to bring them down. Reach that right hand towards the left side of your mat and then look over the right shoulder. Beautiful. And then go ahead and release. We're going to find our way to a forward fold at the top of our mat. So hands come towards the front of the mat. Doesn't matter how you get there. I'm just going to take my time, take a few steps. Bring your feet underneath your hips, drop your head. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Little Miss Pie has decided to join us today. Hi, sweet thing. Maybe sway a little side to side here. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Create a little bit of space in the back by bending the knees to let go of the hamstrings up the back side. Go ahead and bring your fingertips to the mat. Find a half lift here. So come way up onto the fingertips. Reach your tailbone way far behind you and the crown of the head way forward. So you're zipping up your belly here. Zip it up. You could even float your fingertips off the mat, root through your heels and find that length. And then on your exhale, we're just going to sweep down, melt over the legs, completely empty out the lungs, bend the knees, sweep the arms nice and wide, root to rise, sweep all the way up with the hands, press palms together overhead. Take a little back bend here. And then draw your hands to heart center. And then just relax your shoulders here. Lift all 10 toes, spread them wide, place them back down on the mat, grip into the mat, and then think about zipping up your inner thighs. Relax your shoulders. I like the mantra today, I can do hard things. That's kind of where I'm focusing my attention today, because we can do hard things. We can do a lot more than we think we can. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you do anything too hard. I know you're thinking it. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, fold. We're going to take three half Suryas here. Inhale, half lift, fingertips on the mat. Reach the crown of the head forward, the tailbone back. Exhale, melt down. When you're completely empty, sweep the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. 2 more just like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. You can move a little faster or slower than me, that's okay. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms nice and wide all the way up. Press palms together. Take that little back bend if it feels juicy. Exhale, hands to heart center. And you're going to draw up and in, so no back bend when hands are at heart center. Inhale, reach, last time through. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms nice and wide, root to rise all the way up, hands to heart center. Now I promise we're going to work on our balance because of the ice out there, so we all need a little bit of practice, right? Think of what if I had to, right? So what if I had to stand on one leg? We're gonna root down through the left foot and float the right knee hip level. Once you get here, you're going to notice that your right hip wants to kind of crick up. You're gonna push it down, flex through the foot. Nice. I'm just going to stay here, relax the shoulders, hands right at heart center, or you can put them on your hips, or if you need to hang on to a wall, you can certainly do that. We're just going to practice this functional range of motion here. So I want you to draw that heel in towards your butt and to hitch forward. As you hitch forward, we're going to send that right leg back, find your way to a warrior 3. Super duper slow. Your left ankle is probably getting a little dance here. Bend into that left knee until you can place the right toes on the mat and then sweep the arms all the way up. Nice. See, we arrived here in our crescent warrior. Exhale the hands down behind you, interlace the fingers and open your heart. I like to keep my hands on my lower back when I first get started here because I'm always tight. Nice. Then go ahead and inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Beautiful. We're going to bring both hands down either side of that front foot and step forward into that forward fold, melt down over the legs. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Second side, float that left knee off the mat or left foot off the mat, knee comes even with the hip. So you'll notice it. My hip likes to pop up, just draw it down. If you have a shiny surface in front of you, you can see if your hips are even. Nice, flexing that foot helps with your balance, believe it or not. Beautiful. So draw that heel in towards your seat as you pitch forward with your heart and shoulders. Kick that left leg behind you. See if you can do that without tilting that hip up. You want to keep square. Look directly down at the floor. Bend into that right knee and step back with the left toes. Reach the arms all the way up. Nice. Exhale, sweep the arms around behind you, interlace the fingers, find that open heart. Sink down nice and low. Maybe get a little bit deeper into that front knee. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, both hands down either side of that front foot. Step forward, wide-legged forward fold here. Your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. Melt down over the legs. Now, if you have the space, if your hands are on the mat and you can place them on the mat, just lift your toes and slide your fingers underneath your feet here. Coming down onto the backs of your hands. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Good. Go ahead and bend the knees, remove the hands. Perfect. And then heel toe those feet back together again. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms all the way up. Hands to heart center. We're going to add on a little bit here. Right knee is going to lift. A little bit faster. Flex that foot. Exhale, find your way into that warrior three. Just kick that right foot back. Toes are pointing down towards the mat. Bend the left knee till the right toes touch. Sweep the arms all the way up. Nice. This is where it gets a little tricky. If you can leave your hands up towards the sky. Otherwise, bring your hands to heart center. We're coming right back into that standing on one foot, right knee lifted. We open that hip, turn the heel towards the left and sit down into your standing pigeon or your standing figure four. From here, you can reach your arms forward, sit back, sit down. Nice. We're not done yet. Let's go ahead and stand all the way up. And then exhale back through that warrior three. Bend the left knee, right toes come down. Perfect. Both hands on the mat. Step back into your high plank. I can do hard things. You can do hard things. I promise. This is the worst of it. Inhale up and back into your downward facing dog. And then walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Forward fold. Melt down over the legs. Let everything go. Grab opposite elbows, perhaps. Inhale, sweep the arms nice and wide all the way up. Press palms together at the top. Exhale, hands come to heart center as you lift that left knee. Nice. Exhale, hinge forward. Maybe the hands reach behind you this time. Kick behind you. Bend the knee. Find your way into that crescent. Inhale, reach all the way up. It's nice to see Maggie's working so hard here. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're coming back into that standing. So you have to root down into that right heel to come up with grace or without. And then turn that foot over towards the right. Sit down into your seated pigeon, standing pigeon, whatever you want to call it. Nice. Inhale, come all the way back up. Unhook the foot. Hinge back into that warrior three. I know your right leg is really screaming now. This is good practice. And then go ahead and exhale. Hands come down, toes come down. Step all the way back into your downward facing dog. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. And then bring your knees to the mat, nice and wide, big toes touch. Sit back into your child's pose. So knees are wide if that works for you. If you have the space in your hips, you're going to slide down in between the thighs. I like to bring my hands to prayer overhead, open my elbows just a tiny bit and let my forehead come to the mat. And then I'll draw my fingers overhead towards the sky or towards the back of the mat. We're using this as a yin shape, so we're going to be here for a few moments. See if you can get a little lower, a little deeper. Find a little bit more in this pose somewhere. Walk your hands forward. Lift your head, look towards the end of the mat, spread the fingers nice and wide, and rock yourself up into a tabletop shape. So you're going to want to walk your knees underneath you, walk your hands underneath your shoulders, and take a few squiggles and wiggles, cats and cows, whatever kind of feels nice and juicy to get the kinks out, get the blood flowing back in the feet. Nice. And then go ahead and plant those hands, spread the fingers nice and wide, curl the toes under, push up and back into your downward facing dog. Heels reach towards the mat. Press away from your hands. Think of spreading the shoulder blades behind you. So you're creating a lot of opposition here. Pulling the shoulder blades apart, pulling the hands together, pushing the heels down towards the mat, but lifting your tailbone up high. Look towards the hands. Let's go ahead and walk all the way up into that forward fold, top of the mat. Except this time we're just going to bring the right fist or the fingertips underneath your nose. I like to use my fist here, like it's rooted down into the mat, and sweep the left arm up and open, bend the right knee and look up underneath the left arm. If you have a lot more room than I do, you might sweep that right arm around and grab onto the hip of that right hip. But if you're here and you're feeling it, that's fine. And let's go ahead and switch. You're going to straighten the legs, bring the left fingertips down or the left fist, bend the left knee and reach the right fingertips towards the sky. Maybe take the bind if you did on the other side. Or reach the arms straight up towards the sky. And then let's go ahead and bring both hands down to the mat. You're going to heel toe your right foot a little bit to the right and step back with the left foot and line it up. Bring the right hand inside the right foot or the right elbow to the knee and open the left arm up and open just like we did in that twist. So it's like you're opening a book. Nice. Now if you're putting all of your weight into this elbow or onto that foot, I want you to lift up out of it so that you can move that elbow around. Nice. And then keep this left hand dragging you back all the way up into your warrior two. We're going to stretch out the intercostals, the rib muscles, flip the palm on that right hand, and think about opening up each rib, creating space as you reach that right arm up towards the sky, and maybe back behind you, maybe you look down at the left pinky toe. Good, warrior two. Right leg is going to reach or straighten, reach for the front of the mat, and then bring your fingertips just to your shin and find your triangle shape. Nice. All right, this is where it gets tricky. Left hand comes down next to the right foot. And then you can put the right hand on the mat while we set ourselves up. You're just going to slide that left foot towards the right just a tiny bit. Keep that foot planted. Keep the right leg straight. And then reach that right arm out to the side. So taking a little half twist here. That might be enough, right, if you're feeling really twisted. Or you might go ahead and find that full twist. Nice. Both hands come down. And then we're just going to walk, for the sake of camera angles, we're just going to walk to the back of the mat. You're going to turn the toes towards the back of the mat, bend the left knee. Left hand stays inside the left foot, right foot is planted. Oh, we're going to have all the dogs here today. And then we're going to open up, either keeping that hand down at the mat or we're going to put the elbow on the knee and reach your right arm up. Oh, she didn't want you there. Nice. Don't forget, you want to have room to move here. So if you're leaning so much into that knee that you can't lift that elbow and move it around without your body moving, I want you to really pull into the core for that. Let's find our way to warrior two. Right arm reaches back, left arm forward, and take that reverse. Flip the palm, reverse. Maybe look down. or watch the dogs, because apparently there's a lot to see here today. And then go ahead and find your way back into that warrior two while we set up that triangle. Straighten the left leg and then reach and hinge. Open up. So this should feel, you should feel very stretchy through all of this. Nice. Both hands come down either side of that right foot. You can heel toe that back foot in 1 or 2 steps, maybe about 6 inches or so. Right hand or right fist comes to the mat, and then you're going to scissor that left hip towards the right and anchor it there while you twist into that left arm. So if that's too much, you can always bring your hand to the shin and do this from up a little bit higher. And I don't know if you can see, but I am shaking like heck. This is not an easy pose. So if you're right here, that works. Nice. And then let's bring both hands down and walk towards the front of the mat. Toes face towards what is now the front, and then just melt down wide-legged forward fold. Nod your head, shake your head. See if you can lift up on the arch of each foot and root down through the pinky toe side of your foot. Okay, guys. And then we're just going to walk all the way back towards the front. Step your left foot to meet your right. Melt down over the legs. We're just going to rock into our tiny ball pose, pulling your heels up off the mat, bending the knees, sitting down hips to heels, tucking the chin. It's hard to do with my microphone, but tuck the chin. And then if you want to, you can float the hands. And then go ahead and find your way back onto our back. We're going to revisit that twist and see how it feels different. So draw the knees all the way into your heart. Give yourself a nice little hug, rock and roll a little side to side. So if you know that twists are a little challenging for you, you can go right back into the one we did earlier. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, we're going to take it into a deeper twist. So bringing your feet to the mat, knees are bent. You're going to lift the right foot, cross it over the left knee, and then maybe take the double wrap, maybe hook the toes behind the calf. I'm not going to do that on this side because it's a little bit much for my knee, but you can do that if it works for you. Then you're going to bring your fingers behind your head, interlace them behind your head, and let the elbows reach out to the sides. So from here, you're just going to let the legs fall over towards the left. Keep the elbows on the mat, keep the shoulders on the mat, and look straight up. So this is twisted root. It's a much deeper stretch. Did a lot of twisting, so this should feel nice. And we're going to be here for about 90 seconds. So go ahead and settle in. Release any tension you have in your jaw. You're about halfway there. Just taking 3 more breaths here. So see if you can come out of this without moving the arms. So keep the fingers interlaced behind the head. Use your feet to come back through center. And then just realign, right? So put your heels, your feet on the mat, lift the hips up, and then scoop back down. Cross the left foot right over the right leg. And then again, if you want to try the bind on this side, or maybe it's more accessible, you can rack the toes underneath the calf. And then we're just going to take this over towards the right. So keep those elbows glued to the mat. You're looking straight down towards the front of your mat. And again, it's about 90 seconds. See how this shows up for you. Are you tempted to squiggle and wiggle? Or are you able to completely melt into the pose, into the shape? Go ahead and unravel, unwind. You can take your fingers from behind. You can put the feet back on the mat. Maybe take some windshield wipers, or I like to pull the knees into the heart space, give a little rock and roll here. And then go ahead and pull the knees in. Maybe wrap the arms around. Find your way to an Apanasana. And then let's put the feet on the mat. So the feet are about hip width, the toes are pointing forward, the knees are pointing towards the sky. And we're just going to lift the hips up off the mat, finding your way to a bridge pose. So first we're going to make this an active bridge, and then we're just going to hold it. So your hips are up off the mat. As you exhale, I want you to lower about halfway. So you don't touch the mat here, just lower about halfway. And then inhale, lift all the way back up. Exhale, lower all the way and tap. And then inhale, lift up. So lower halfway, lift back up. Lower the hips and just brush the floor, and then inhale back up. Exhale halfway. Inhale, lift. You should start to feel your glute muscles. Exhale, brush the floor. Inhale, lift. If you're not, dig your heels into the mat. Exhale halfway. Inhale, lift. Exhale all the way down to the mat. Inhale, back up. Last one, halfway. Inhale, lift. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, lift all the way up. Now we're gonna hold. So lift those hip points, squeeze those knees together. Maybe rock your shoulders underneath you. Maybe interlace the fingers underneath your hips. If none of this feels good, you can just stay right where you are. Nice. We're gonna stay here for about 15 more seconds. Again, these glutes, hamstrings, quads, these are what you're going to need when you're stepping on that ice. Last 3, 2, 1. Unlace the fingers. Let your hips come all the way down to the mat and reach the legs long, reach the arms overhead. And we've all earned a nice long Shavasana here. So we're going to just find our way. If you want to sit up on a prop, maybe a bolster under your back, under your spine, maybe a pillow. Maybe you want to put a pillow or a block underneath the hips and come back to a supported bridge if you're feeling like you need an inversion. Whatever feels good, go ahead and close your eyes. Go ahead and find your way to your shape. And then sink into it. And maybe this is the hard thing today. Maybe this is the hard thing that you tell yourself you can do. Finding stillness when your mind is very, very busy is sometimes a very hard thing. Deepen your exhales by lengthening just a tiny bit longer than your inhale. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. And I am breathing out. Starting to add gradual movement to fingers and toes. Finding your way towards your right side, pausing there. Taking several moments in this space in between. It's not of the present, it's not of the past. It's just right here. Taking your time, moving with intention, coming towards any seat that feels right for you today. Maybe your crisscross applesauce. Take the next several rounds of breath to notice the sensations that they are as they are now. So maybe you feel very calm, very focused, very present. Maybe you're energized and empowered to go through the rest of your day. If you choose, bringing hands to heart center, maybe bowing your head if you like. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Namaste.